As for the fourth topic, it will be asked, is there a representative and authority in the name of the religion to every time and to all people after Prophet Muhammad or not? So that it could be stated that from the beginning of time until end of time, an authority over us exists or not. Further, it will be asked, those who rule over mankind after Prophet Muhammad, are they divine authorities, meaning that they get order from God on how to act and what to say, or are they just political leaders, independent from God? If we start with the first wonder, we have that within the books of Shia Islam it is stated that there is an authority continued of successors from the first time after Prophet Muhammad until the last time in our time, so that all people throughout all times from Prophet Adam until Prophet Muhammad and also the times after Prophet Muhammad have a representative in the name of the religion. We can read, for instance, in Al-Kafi volume 1 hadith 429 that the earth is never left without an imam. Further, it states in Hadith 432 that God does not leave the earth without an alim, a scholar. In this narration, it also mentions that without this, the truth would not be distinguished from falsehood. A last narration in Shia books Al-Kafi volume 1 Hadith 433 states that God the Most Holy, the Most High, is far greater and above leaving the earth without an imam of justice. It is the case for Shia Islam that all times after Prophet Muhammad are occupied with an authority for every people. Their names are well documented within Shia literature, one leader in each time from Prophet's family. Their names can be found in Al-Kafi volume 1 chapter 65 to 77. In Sunni Islam there are times when an authority over mankind exists after Prophet Muhammad, but not to all times and for all people. So which could be logical answer to go with? For me, I adhere to that there must exist an authority for all times so that all people gets the message, a warning, or to be guided from God. God must have sent to His religion in all times an authority so that no people can state in front of God that they didn't get warned or guided. Without a proof of God, there is the confusion of the ignorant, the doubts of the skeptics, the guessers, and the people of opinion. No order and structure whatsoever. If there is a proof of God to all times, then all people from all times, if they are ignorant, they can ask. If they are doubtful and skeptics, they will become certain and confident with a representative of God present. And if there are guessers, then those who guess would not need to guess with a proof of God present who has the answers. Also, with an authority over the people in the name of the religion gives us a common way, making the people of different opinions to share the same opinion, not forming groups. There will be order and structure. Imagine if Prophet Muhammad was not present during his time. Would the people get the message or be warned or get guided? Never. They would have been confused and chaos would arise, so an authority from God to all people is important, in which Shia Islam adheres to, while Sunni Islam do not have. Who would also tell the people about the lawful and the unlawful from the religion, if not for a representative of God present in all times? Who would correct the one who tries to change the religion, if not for a proof of God present to all times? Did someone dare to change the religion when Prophet Muhammad was present? So if there aren't any representatives for the religion after Prophet Muhammad who renews and reminds people of the Prophet's Sunnah, then there is that risk for the people to forget the Prophet's Sunnah and for some to even try to change it. But even with authorities present, there are always people who try to change the religion. For instance, as soon as Prophet Moses went for a mission with God and left the majority of his people in the hand of Prophet Aaron, which is mentioned in chapter 7 verse 142, the people that remained worshipped other than God. This we can read in chapter 7 verse 148. So even with an authority from God present, such in the case of Prophet Aaron, there will always be some who try to change the religion of God. In the case of Prophet Aaron, he told the remaining people that it is God we should worship, no one else. Meaning when Prophet Moses was gone, there still was an authority for the people in Prophet Aaron who tried to correct them while Prophet Moses was gone. Likewise, for the times after Prophet Muhammad, there are those who try to change the religion, but for God to send authorities to all times preserving the religion so that we have a true side of the religion in all times and an untrue side. Shia Islam explains that each prophet had their own successors so that each and every time is occupied with a representative in the name of the religion. For instance, Prophet Moses and Prophet Jesus had their successors also who spread the correct teachings of God, while a group of people at the same time the correct message was spread tried to give misinformation. So there are many people who thinks that between Prophet Jesus and Prophet Muhammad, there is no successorship. But Shia Islam states that there are successors between Prophet Jesus and Prophet Muhammad until it comes to Prophet Muhammad, and in all those times, there are successors from God who gives correct teachings, but in the same time, people who goes against these successors and creates their own religion, as an example, preaching that Jesus is God. According to Shia Islam, all times have a representative from God, and the opposite, people from each time who gives their own interpretation to the religion. Prophet Adam was, for instance, the correct path in his time, and the devil formed his own leadership, so for those who adhere to the devil do not follow the correct path. So simply for Shia Islam, it explains that each time has a correct path with an authority from God, and a non-correct path at the same time with authorities not from God. Now moving on, why more it is important with representatives in the name of the religion to all times is that the devil, Iblis, is a misguidance for every time, including the times after Prophet Muhammad, whispering evil to every people to each time from the beginning of time until now. There must therefore exist an opposite force of good to each and every time. That is for God to send a representative of His to every time and to every place. From a Quranic perspective, God mentions in the Quran, chapter 2, verse 30, that He will put a Khalifa upon earth, meaning successive authorities until end of time. This verse is stating that not a single time is without a proof of God, a representative in the name of the religion. Another Quranic perspective from chapter 13, verse 7 mentions that for every people there are warners, and then there is a guide from God, so it is logical to believe that every time is occupied with someone leading its people, because God mentions in chapter 13, verse 7 that He sends guides to all times. We know, as mentioned, that our time is occupied with Imam Mahdi as a proof of God for both Sunni Islam and Shia Islam. Likewise, the gap between Prophet Muhammad and Imam Mahdi is filled with one leader at a time until it comes to Imam Mahdi. Imam Mahdi cannot be a caliph if not for the existence of a caliph in God's way before him. But it is only Shia Islam that can identify caliphs to all times within this gap, since for Sunni Islam the leader set to every time after Prophet Muhammad until Imam Mahdi is not identified or is missing. For Sunni Islam, it is known with the 4 caliphs after Prophet Muhammad and Imam Mahdi. The rest between the last of the 4 to Imam Mahdi are not fully known who they are, or even if there existed caliphs in the name of the religion until our time. Now imagine if a country is without a president or a classroom is without a teacher. It would be chaotic. Imagine people without a representative for our religion. A time without a representative for the religion is a lost time. People would disagree, quarrel, and come up with different laws and rules if not a common guide exists for the people. As mentioned, even though there are leaders from God to each and every time, or that it should be this way, we still cannot prevent that there is a split, for instance, in other religions and sects, that there is actually still disunity and chaos, but from God's side He has not done wrong. He is all just, and thus from His side we cannot blame Him, since He has put successive authorities from beginning of time until now. Meaning, in theory, it is there that we should not disunite. We should all be in the same correct religion and path of God, but practically we people have misguided ourselves into other religions and paths away from God's true religion and path. Furthermore, if we have a time without someone as an authority over mankind in the name of the religion, we would automatically choose one among us just to avoid dispute and disunity between us. It already gives a hint that if someone is not present for the people to all times, then people would disagree with each other, forming groups and not a common way, until we make settle between ourselves that one needs to be in charge and for one to be chosen. So for Shia Islam, there are authorities over us to all times after Prophet Muhammad. For Sunni Islam, the case is that sometimes have and sometimes do not have. Thus I adhere to the answers from Shia Islam. But if it is true what Shia Islam is stating, that there must be an authority for mankind to all times and all places, where is our time's representative? For both Sunni Islam and Shia Islam, Imam Mahdi is set to our time as a caliph and imam over mankind. For Shia Islam, Imam Mahdi is alive from the time he was born, around 800 AD until now, succeeding the caliph before him from Prophet's family, while for Sunni Islam, Imam Mahdi is not born yet. From Shia Islam, it is stated that God has made Imam Mahdi's appearance unknown for us, but that he exists and do his tests and missions with God, helping the poor, the believers, etc., until it comes a time where God will reveal who he is, that he, unveiled together with Prophet Jesus, will rule for some years and bring justice and peace to the world we live in. Now, is it possible for Imam Mahdi to be alive while we are not conscious of who he is and for so long, that his appearance to be hidden from us and that he performs his mission with God in the unseen while we do not perceive it? When I studied the religion of Islam, I find this to be possible. Prophet Noah is described in chapter 29 verse 14 to have lived over 900 years. The people in the cave slept for 300 years in Surah Al-Kahf, chapter 18 verse 25. The devil is alive from the beginning of time until now. Prophet Khidr within both school of thoughts is by some considered alive from Prophet Moses' time. Even Prophet Jesus, according to Islam, did not die on the cross and lives, which is mentioned in chapter 4 verse 157. And have anybody seen God, yet God upholds the universe, all life and his religion. Gravity exists, yet it is hidden from the eyes, and the angels perform their missions in the unseen while we cannot perceive it. God also made Prophet Jesus' appearance hidden, so he did not die on the cross. Rather, the people thought the man on the cross was Jesus, yet he was not. Can then God not hide Imam Mahdi's appearance so that we do not recognize who he is while he is alive for so long? All these proofs gives the case of Imam Mahdi a certainty that God can make him alive for so long and that his appearance can be unknown, yet he exists among us, doing his mission until God reveals for us who he is. Firstly, it is possible for God to do so since God is all-powerful, and this is within logic. God mentions in the Quran chapter 4 verse 133 that if he wanted, he can remove us altogether and replace us with a new creation. Can God then not make Imam Mahdi's appearance unknown while he is alive as an Imam for mankind from the time he was born? God already made Prophet Jesus to be hidden and unknown for the people while someone else met his death. And Prophet Khidr's case is also such that we do not fully know who he is, but he is mentioned as a righteous person in the Quran. The same with Imam Mahdi, who is among us in the hidden as a righteous person until God reveals who he is. Thus, indeed, it is possible with an Almighty God to make Imam Mahdi alive for so long and for him to perform deeds with his Lord in the unseen while we do not perceive it. Also, is this possible with the evidence shown here from different figures in the Quran and examples within Islam? Therefore, I adhere to that Imam Mahdi is among us while we do not perceive it, rather than that he is not born yet. We as Muslims must believe in miracles and about the unseen. Islam is not just worldly matters and a materialistic aspect, rather also the metaphysical and the spiritual, unseen aspect of life. Within both authentic Sunni sources and Shia sources, it is mentioned that the Prophet has said that we should adhere to the Quran and his family after him so that we do not go astray, and that they, the Quran and Prophet's family, shall not split until they meet in paradise. This is mentioned in Bihar al-Anwar, volume 2, page 316 to 317, and Jami' al-Tirmidhi 3788. Then it must be that someone as of right now is with the Quran from Prophet's family, someone who is not separated from the Quran. It means someone is alive from Prophet's family with the Quran as an authority for mankind and will be separated from it only in paradise. And this someone is Imam Mahdi, being alive and unseen until God reveals who he is among us. The narration of Thaqalain, meaning the narration where the Prophet uttered two weighty things for us to follow after him, is a proof for the occultation of Imam Mahdi, that he is alive from the time he was born until now, in the hidden, since Prophet Muhammad says those two, the Quran and his family, Ahl al-Bayt, shall never be separated in this world. Therefore, there must be someone as an authority over mankind as of right now, otherwise the Quran and an authority from Prophet's family for mankind is separated. So if we want to know if Imam Mahdi is alive or not, we can understand it by this analysis of this hadith to conclude that he must be among us living. Then there are some who within Sunni Islam, the one side of Islam that doesn't have an authority for all times and to all people after Prophet Muhammad, that states actually that all times after Prophet Muhammad has guidance, so that it could be stated that both faiths within the religion believe in caliphs to come for all people after Prophet Muhammad. Within my analysis, this will still be problematic because of three reasons. The first is that for Sunni Islam, Imam Mahdi to our time is not born yet, so there is still no guidance to all times because a caliph to our time according to this side of Islam would then not exist yet. The concept of God is that there must be an authority, a representative from God present to every time, not missing, or at least this is what Shia Islam states. If Imam Mahdi is not born yet, then a time is without an authority from God. The second issue is that the caliph Sunni Islam adheres to, for instance, after Imam Ali, such as Muawiyah or those after Muawiyah, is that they didn't rule according to Islamic laws. They were unjust and harsh with the people. It was not in accordance with Prophet's Sunnah. Meanwhile, if we look into the caliphs Shia Islam adheres to from Prophet's family, none of them have a biography that mentions anything evil about them. They all were of such character that reminded people of Prophet Muhammad. It is documented within history and Sunni narrations such as Sahih Bukhari 48-44 that Muawiyah, in which some Sunni Muslims consider him a caliph, that he fought against Imam Ali in the Battle of Siffin. How can a caliph fight another caliph? It is like Prophet Muhammad fighting against Prophet Jesus. Both Sunni Muslims and Shia Muslims believe that it was Muawiyah's fault within this battle. I believe that every caliph should only act with goodness and nothing less. Should Islam be spread with violence or with peace? Because many of the caliphs Sunni Islam adheres to chose violence, and this is not something I make up. One can study history to see for oneself that the caliphs Shia Islam adheres to from Prophet's family were all good representatives, while many of those Sunni Islam adheres to did not practice Islam correctly. This is also mainly because of the third issue we now will address, that for Shia Islam the caliphs of the Prophet Muhammad are divine authorities, so they cannot do wrong to the Ummah, while Sunni Islam adheres to caliphs whom are not divine authorities under the command of God. So the third issue would be that for Sunni Islam, even if it could be stated that the caliphs comes to all times of the Prophet Muhammad, they are not divine authorities. For Shia Islam, it is the case that all authorities in the name of the religion in each time after Prophet Muhammad until our time are spiritual leaders, meaning in some way or the other has contact with God, getting order from God on how to act and what to say. While as mentioned for Sunni Islam, it is that the caliphs of the Prophet are only political leaders, meaning they do not have contact with God or is appointed by God. Since for Shia Islam their successors after Prophet Muhammad are divinely appointed from God, then they are divine authorities over mankind. While for Sunni Islam, since their successors are not divinely appointed, then they are just political leaders rather than an authority from God. Hence they act by themselves, giving order from themselves rather than order from God to guide mankind. Now in Shia books Al-Kafi volume 1 hadith 430, it mentions that the earth has never been without a person with divine authority, while in Al-Kafi volume 1 hadith 705, it explains for instance Imam Ali as a divine spokesman. So the concept Shia Islam demonstrates within their books regarding this topic is that their successors are divine authorities, just like previous representatives from Prophet Adam until Prophet Muhammad, so that all times have a representative in the name of the religion from God and not from oneself. According to Al-Kafi volume 1 hadith 434, God never leaves the earth without a person who would represent his authority among the people. So the second discussion within this video is to ask, what is logical to believe? That the caliphs of the Prophet Muhammad are divine authorities, spiritual leaders, so that all times from beginning of time until now comes from God and have contact with God, and for God to give them order on how to lead mankind, or that the caliphs of the Prophet Muhammad are not from God, not divine authorities, spiritual leaders, meaning they act upon themselves. In the Quran chapter 21 verse 73, it mentions that God makes some to be leaders, so they guide people by the order of God. Here it is already then stated that the concept of being a leader over mankind do have a spiritual contact with God, and that they are not just political leaders. Prophet Abraham also as a leader over mankind had contact with God, so a leader over mankind after Prophet Muhammad as the same role must also have this relationship with God. God mentions also in the Quran chapter 13 verse 7 that there are warners and for every people there is a guide from him, so that it could be stated that the guiders in the name of their religion for the people after Prophet Muhammad are from God, and since God has sent them, he with the order to them guides mankind. Every caliph of God from Prophet Adam to Prophet Muhammad are known to have spiritual contact with God. So since all caliphs previous to the caliphs of the Prophet Muhammad have contact with God, then the caliphs after as a representative to the religion leading mankind for new times must also have contact with God, in that God gives them orders so that they can guide mankind according to God. After all, God mentions in chapter 2 verse 30 that he puts successive authorities. This stretches to end of time. If the caliphs of the Prophet Muhammad are divine authorities, only then is there a consistency with the religion for having divine authorities throughout all times. Every new people and a new time from Prophet Adam to Prophet Muhammad have authorities from God. Since there is a new time and a new people after Prophet Muhammad, it gives justice for the caliphs chosen to be divine authorities so that all times and its people are protected by God. My analysis further tells me that the caliphs after Prophet Muhammad, one in each time until our time, must be spiritual leaders, having contact with God, because to guide mankind as they have the role to do as an imam to all people at specific time cannot be done without God. What is better and logical, for the knowledge to come from God to the authority than to the people, or for the knowledge to come from an authority over a people without God, in which a political leader stands for? If the caliphs after Prophet Muhammad are only political leaders which Sunni Islam adheres to, then they would lead mankind according to oneself and not from God. Hence it becomes people's religion and not God's religion. In the books of Sunni Islam and Shia Islam, it mentions about Imam Mahdi to our time. It mentions in the narrations that he will bring justice and peace to the oppression and injustice taking place in this world. If God is not behind him, then how can Imam Mahdi by himself as a political leader make peace and justice? If we state that Imam Mahdi can by himself, then it would be to make him independent and also God to be independent. Thus, this would be one form of associating partners with God, because it is only correct to state that God is independent. Wouldn't it be better if God is behind Imam Mahdi, having contact with him on how to lead, with order and structure, rather than Imam Mahdi by himself? Oneness of God tells me that Imam Mahdi can only bring peace and justice with the permission and help from God and not without. Thus a contact is needed. In the Quran, within chapter 53 verse 1 to 5, it mentions that Prophet Muhammad does not speak or act by himself. It comes from God. Imagine if Prophet Muhammad did speak and act by himself without God, for him to just be a political leader. Would the people around his time be guided if this was the case? The answer to this would be no. Prophet Muhammad without God is not a prophet. Prophet Muhammad without God cannot guide or warn people. Likewise, for the caliphs to come after Prophet Muhammad, they cannot preserve their religion and guide mankind without command from God to them. I cannot imagine a time after Prophet Muhammad to just be an authority over the people without God selecting this person and without this person guiding the people according to God's command, meaning to be a divine authority. The new people to a new time is as precious as those times and people in between Prophet Adam and Prophet Muhammad. It cannot be taken lightly or with carelessness. What is considered more safe and preserved? For God to appoint a successor after Prophet Muhammad and for this person to be a divine authority over the people, meaning to guide the people with the command of God, or not be appointed by God and spread their religion as a leader without God giving this person commands. And a political leader, whoever can be it, me or you or anyone, but the divine authority is someone unique. It cannot be anyone. It is chosen by God. Hence, for all these reasons, I adhere to Shia Islam that states the caliphs after Prophet Muhammad are not just political leaders, but also divinely in touch with God. For Sunni Islam, the successors of the Prophet Muhammad do not lead people according to the command of God. They are just political leaders rather than being in touch with God in regard to how to act and what to say. If a representative of the religion who leads mankind acts according to his own judgment as a political leader would, then what difference would there be between him holding God's religion and an ordinary person like you or me holding it? Now, even Maryam, the mother of Jesus, is described within the Quran, chapter 3, verse 42, to have experienced divine contact with God. And angels themselves, who are less in rank than me or you, if we are pious, let alone the divine authorities put on earth by God after Prophet Muhammad, is to have divine connection with God. So it is not far-fetched to believe that the caliphs after Prophet Muhammad to speak and act in accordance to God's command to them. Otherwise, they, the leaders after Prophet Muhammad, would come up with their own guidance away from the religion. What status does someone who is an imam for mankind possess for him to be able to have contact with God? This mighty status can only be given to God's special servants. Prophet Abraham obtained this role in chapter 2, verse 124. An imam of a mankind, which a successor to Prophet Muhammad is, has been taught by the Prophet everything about the religion, the Quran, the morals and ethics. He is the one who carries the religion for all the people after, guiding them back to Prophet Muhammad. It is not an easy task and cannot be done without the help of God. I find it highly possible for them to be divine authorities rather than just to be an authority. Now, the leader said to mankind after Prophet Muhammad differs between Sunni Islam and Shia Islam. For Shia Islam, the successors are from Prophet Muhammad's family, one successor to each and every time until our time. Namely, they are Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, Imam Zayn al-Abidin, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, Imam Jafar al-Sadiq, Imam Musa al-Kadhim, Imam Ali al-Rida, Imam Muhammad Jawad, Imam Ali al-Hadi, Imam Hassan al-Askari, and lastly Imam Mahdi. For Sunni Islam, it is Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Imam Ali, then Imam Mahdi to our time. As mentioned, some Sunni Muslims also includes caliphs to all times, so that for instance Imam Hassan and Muawiyah are in their list, but the rest of times between Muawiyah to Imam Mahdi are not fully identified. But even if the successors of the Prophet Muhammad according to Sunni Islam are not divine authorities. So even if it could be stated that for Sunni Islam and Shia Islam, there are authorities in the name of their religion for all people of the Prophet Muhammad and to all times, I would still adhere to Shia Islam because only the authorities from Shia Islam are divine authorities, in which Sunni Islam mentions for their authorities to not be appointed by God or to get order from God. If you would answer this topic without any background in both faiths or any influence, which side would your intellect go with? For it to be caliphs to all times of the Prophet Muhammad, so that there exists an authority in the name of the religion for all people and all times, or not? And are the caliphs of the Prophet Muhammad also divine authorities as for previous caliphs from Prophet Adam to Prophet Muhammad, so that all times have a divine authority, or not?